Exposing more global warming lies, I'm Brian Lilley with TheRebel.Media. This story caught my eye the other day because the headline went against everything we've been told from the scientific experts and, yes, even Al Gore. Check out this story. It says, CCGS Amundsen rerouted to Hudson Bay to help with heavy ice. That's a story dated July 22nd. That's right, July 22nd, middle of the summer, and in northern Canada, in the Arctic Sea areas, they're having to reroute scientific icebreakers, ships that are supposed to be on a 115-day scientific mission, partly to study climate change, and they're being told, go break up ice. Why? Let me read to you from the article. The icebreaker has been rerouted to escort commercial ships en route to resupply communities in northern Quebec on the eastern side of Hudson Bay. Johnny Leclerc, Assistant Commissioner for the Coast Guard, said Tuesday conditions in the area are the worst he's seen in 20 years. The worst ice conditions he's seen in 20 years. But wait a minute. I thought Al Gore told the Copenhagen Climate Change Conference back in 2009 that by this point we wouldn't have any sea ice.
Some of the models suggest to Dr. Maslowski that there is a 75% chance that the entire North Polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years.
Once again, Gore is wrong, and he needs to be called out on it because he's still flying around the world in luxurious jets to speak about how the rest of us have to change our lives to come in line with his view of climate change and how we should all be living. Of course, we apparently shouldn't live like him with car motorcades and private jets and enormous homes. No, we should all live in tiny homes, drive tiny cars, and not fly anywhere. That's what Gore wants. But he's wrong. He's wrong on the Arctic ice again, and we need to call him out on it. Let me show you another chart. This is from the National Snow and Ice Data Center. Now, the scientists there are worried that the Arctic sea ice is not at where they think it should be. But look at the chart. You've got 2014, well above the average from 1981 to 2010. And you've got 2015, a little bit below 2014, but still above the average. Is the Arctic sea ice disappearing? No, it actually appears to be quite healthy. And I remember being on a trip to Alaska and speaking to local elders from the Aboriginal communities up there, and they said, we're not worried about this because we've seen the ice come and go. It's been in our stories for years. It moves in, it moves out. It grows, it shrinks. It happens over time, and that's what we're dealing with. But people like Gore want you to believe that there's some global catastrophe that requires us to change absolutely everything about how we run our world in order to meet his view, his progressive, his left-wing worldview. They're going to be meeting again later this year, this time not in Copenhagen, but Paris. They always pick a lovely city for these conferences. Quite often it's a warm hotspot. This year it won't be. It'll be Paris, and they're going to try and negotiate another global climate change agreement. They're going to try and convince the world once again that everything is warming up. Really? Let me show you what's happening on the other side of the world. This is the Antarctic sea ice. Last fall, they reached a new maximum towards the end of their winter season. A new maximum. The Antarctic sea ice shelf is growing. We're supposed to be warming up. We're supposed to be having a fever, as Al Gore would tell us. But we're not. So these guys have been proven time and again to be wrong. They've been proven wrong on the science. They could be proven wrong on the economics if people actually decided to look at what these agreements call for. Because while they claim to be all about the science, the agreement under negotiation as we head towards Paris later this year isn't about science at all. It's about money. It's about who's going to get money. It's about who's going to pay. And the goal is to get wealthier countries to give poorer countries more money, more technology, for nothing. It's actually climate debt. That's what they call it, climate debt. They want us to pay for reparations for past emissions. They want us to pay for changing their way of life and changing our way of life at the same time. When they make these calls, remember that Al Gore was wrong, the scientists he cited were wrong, and the Earth is not burning up with a fever as he says.